The sound of the doorbell. For most, it's a neutral sound, a simple notification. But for you, it feels like an invasion. It's a sound that doesn't just interrupt your day. It feels like it interrupts your soul. It's not just a person at the door. It's an energetic storm about to walk into your most sacred space. You immediately feel the pressure, the social mask you have to put on, the energy you'll have to expend, the performance you'll have to give, and the cleanup, not just of the coffee cups, but of the psychic residue left behind. You've been called antisocial, rude, a hermit, weird. You've asked yourself 1,000 times, what is wrong with me? Why am I like this? But what if that intense discomfort isn't a character flaw? What if it's not a weakness, but a profound message from the deepest, most honest part of your psyche? The revolutionary psychologist Carl Jung, the founder of analytical psychology, uncovered a truth about solitude that our hypersocial world often ignores. And what he revealed explains exactly why you hate visitors and why you absolutely must learn to honor that feeling.
To understand this, we have to go back to the source. Carl Jung was the man who first gave us the terms introvert and extrovert. And in the century since, our culture has fundamentally misunderstood what he meant. We've come to define introvert as someone who is shy, quiet, or socially anxious. We see it as a social problem to be fixed. But Jung's definition had nothing to do with shyness. It was about energy. Jung explained that the extrovert directs their psychic energy, their libido, outwards. They are energized by the external world, by people, by events, by stimuli. They gain energy from social interaction. The introvert, however, directs their energy inwards. They are energized by their internal world, by reflection, by ideas, by deep processing. They don't hate people, but social interaction costs them energy. It is an expenditure, a draining of Jung's core battery. When a visitor arrives, you are not just saying hello. You are consciously or unconsciously performing a massive energy transfer. You are plugging your battery into them, and they are plugging theirs into you. For the extrovert, this exchange is often a net positive. But for the true introvert, it is almost always a net loss. This is why the small talk feels so agonizing. It's not the conversation itself, but the fact that you are forced to operate in a low-value, high-cost energy exchange. You are spending your most precious resource, your psychic energy, on a conversation about the weather. It feels like a violation because, on an energetic level, it is. Think of your personal energy like a finite supply of water in a deep well. When you are alone, you are slowly, peacefully drawing water for yourself, replenishing your reserves. A visitor is someone who shows up with a large bucket, demanding a share. A party is a dozen people showing up with buckets. Your dislike of visitors is not antisocial. It is energetic self-preservation. You are not rude for protecting your well. You are wise. You understand on an intuitive level that if you give all your water away, you will be left depleted, parched, and unable to function in the world. Jung saw this internal world not as an escape, but as the source. He wrote, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." That feeling of dread at the doorbell, that is your awakening soul telling you, protect the source. My energy is for me first.
But this goes even deeper than just energy. Why does it feel so personally invasive? Why a visitor in your home specifically? Because in Jungian psychology, your external environment is never just an environment. It is a mirror. Your home is a physical manifestation of your psyche. Think about it. The way you arrange your furniture, the books on your shelf, the art on your walls, even the organized chaos or the minimalist sterility. It is all a direct, unconscious projection of your internal state. Your living room isn't just a room. It's a map of your conscious mind. Your basement or attic, filled with things you've stored away and forgotten, that's your unconscious. Carl Jung was so convinced of this idea that he spent decades building the tower at Bollingen. It wasn't a house. It was a stone representation of his own soul. He built it with his own hands, adding new sections as he integrated new parts of himself. He called it a confession of faith in stone. For Jung, his tower was a container for his personality, a place of peace and spiritual concentration. He famously had no electricity, no running water. He lived simply to be in direct contact with his own mind. Your home is your tower. It is the one place on earth where your internal world and the external world are perfectly aligned. It is a container for your soul. When you are alone in your space, your psyche is at rest. It can expand. It can be its true self, without judgment, without performance. A visitor, no matter how well-intentioned, shatters this alignment. They don't just walk through your door. They walk into your mind. They bring their own energy, their own projections, their own psychic dirt into your sacred space. They sit on your sofa, and suddenly, your sofa isn't yours anymore. It's a shared space. They change the temperature of the room energetically. The silence you spent all day cultivating is broken. The delicate train of thought you were following is derailed. This is why you feel the compulsive need to clean after people leave. You aren't just wiping away crumbs. You are smudging the space. You are an energetic priest, trying to restore the sanctity of your temple, trying to make your home yours again. The irritation you feel is not about the person. It's about the violation of the container. It's your psyche screaming, "This is my space. This is where I am built." And you are tracking mud on the blueprints.
So, you have a finite well of energy, and your home is the physical container for your soul. The inevitable conclusion, then, is that protecting this space is not just a preference, it is a psychological necessity. Our society, which is built on extroverted ideals, has weaponized guilt. If you say no to a social invitation, you are flaky. If you say, "I'm not up for visitors," you are selfish. Jung would argue the opposite. He would say that failing to set those boundaries is the true act of self-betrayal. In Jungian terms, setting a boundary is not an act of aggression. It is an act of differentiation. It is the simple, profound statement, "I end here, and you begin there." For a person with a sensitive internal world, these boundaries are not optional. They are the psychic equivalent of skin. Without skin, your organs would be exposed to every virus, every bacterium, every physical blow. You would be in a constant state of infection and trauma. For the introvert, a lack of boundaries is a constant state of psychic infection. You absorb the moods, the anxieties, and the demands of others until you can't even tell what's yours and what's theirs. This is a one-way path to burnout, depression, and a total loss of self. Your hatred of visitors is your psychic immune system firing on all cylinders. It's a desperate, healthy, vital sign that your skin is being breached. Saying, "No, you can't come over," is not selfish. It is psychic self-preservation. It is the sacred act of loving yourself enough to protect your own life force. It is the most honest and courageous yes
you can possibly give to your own soul. Jung wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." You cannot become who you truly are if your psyche is constantly being invaded, depleted, and forced to conform. You cannot find your own signal if you are constantly being deafened by the noise of others. That no is the first, most critical step in claiming the privilege of your own life.
And by the way, if this is the first time you've heard your own feelings validated in this way, this journey is just beginning. This channel is dedicated to exploring the deep truths of psychology that society often ignores. If you are on this path of self-discovery, of individuation, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. Don't do it for me, do it for your own process, because the next truth we are about to uncover is the most important one of all.
But what if it's more than that? What if the irritation isn't just about energy? What if it's a specific, intense, almost irrational annoyance at a specific person? Why do you love your one friend, but their partner makes your skin crawl? This is where Jung's most famous and most terrifying concept comes into play: the shadow. The shadow, according to Jung, is the dark side of our personality. It is the repository for everything we have disowned about ourselves. It is our repressed anger, our hidden shame, our secret arrogance, our laziness, our greed, our judgments, our sexuality, our creativity. It is everything we were taught was unacceptable as a child. We didn't get rid of these traits, we just locked them in the psychic basement. And this shadow is living in your house, right alongside you. We hide this shadow from the world and from ourselves using what Jung called the persona. The persona is the mask we wear. It's the good me, the polite me, the hard-working, accommodating, friendly me. And this is the core reason visitors are so exhausting. They force you to wear your persona. When you are alone, you are whole. Your shadow can be in the room, you can be lazy, you can be grumpy, you are complete. The moment the doorbell rings, you must shove your shadow back into the basement and slam the door. You must put on the good host mask. This act of psychic self-fracturing is exhausting. The irritation you feel is the deep resentment of your true self being forced back into its cage. But there's a second, more powerful layer. You've locked your shadow in the basement, but it hates being ignored, and it uses other people to get your attention. Jung called this projection. When you have a strong, irrational, emotional reaction to another person, positive or negative, you are almost always projecting a part of your own disowned shadow onto them. Think about that one visitor who drives you insane. Is she so loud and obnoxious? She is likely reflecting the part of you that longs to be unrestrained, but that you've repressed as impolite. Is he so arrogant and self-obsessed? He is reflecting your own golden shadow, your own disowned power and self-confidence, which you've suppressed as conceited. Are they lazy and unproductive? They are triggering your own inner critic and reflecting the part of you that is desperate for rest, but which you've shamed as unproductive. This is why the most neutral people rarely trigger us, but the ones who truly bother us are often relatives or old friends. They have a front row seat to our repressed selves. The guest who is too sensitive or cries about everything, they're reflecting the deep, unprocessed grief you've labeled as weakness and locked away. Their presence forces you to feel it. And what about the golden shadow? This is the most tragic projection of all. Sometimes you meet a guest and you find yourself fawning over them. You think they are a genius. You think they are brilliant, creative, almost godlike. You feel small and insignificant in their presence. This is also a projection. You are projecting all of your own disowned brilliance, your own repressed creativity, your own potential onto them. You worship in them what you have refused to see in yourself. Both reactions, intense irritation and intense idealization, are a lie. They are a distraction. You don't just dislike them. You dislike them because they are a walking, talking mirror of the very part of yourself you have tried to kill. Your home is your sanctuary because it is the one place you don't have to look in that mirror. A visitor forces that mirror in front of your face. Your intense irritation is not just irritation. It is a clue. It is your shadow pounding on the basement door, screaming, "Look at me, integrate me, heal me." Your dislike of that visitor is a map, drawn in anger, leading you directly to the next part of yourself that needs to be healed.
This brings us to the final and the most important piece of the puzzle. What is the point of all this? What is the purpose of this psychic sensitivity, this need for solitude, this battle with the shadow? Jung gave this purpose a name: individuation. Individuation is the ultimate goal of Jungian psychology. It is the lifelong process of becoming your true, whole, undivided self. It is the journey of retrieving all those disowned parts from the shadow, the anger, the power, the creativity, the weirdness, and integrating them back into a complete, functioning personality. It is the process of shedding the persona, the false mask, and allowing your authentic self to emerge. And here is the critical, non-negotiable truth. This work cannot be done in a crowd. Individuation requires solitude. It demands that you create a sacred, protected container for this messy, dangerous, and divine alchemical process to occur. Jung was a student of alchemy, but he didn't see it as a quest to make physical gold. He saw it as a metaphor for psychology. The alchemist's first step was to create a vase or vessel, a sealed, unbreakable container. Then they would put the prima materia, the first matter, a chaotic, base substance inside it. The next step was calcinatio, to heat the vessel,
to burn away all the impurities, the illusions, the false selves. Your home is that alchemical vessel. Your psyche is that prima materia. Your solitude is the fire. You must have a sealed container for this work. If the vessel cracks, if a visitor, an external demand, an interruption breaks the seal, the delicate process is ruined. The heat escapes. The transformation stops. The great work, as the alchemists called it, fails. This is why you feel such dread. The dread you feel at the sound of the doorbell is the dread of the alchemist seeing a crack form in their vessel at the most critical moment of transformation. This experiment is messy. It is not peaceful. It is a confrontation. You are smelting the parts of yourself you hate, burning away the dross to find the gold. It requires focus. It requires containment. The interruption of a visitor is not just an interruption. It is a potential catastrophe for the work. It risks spilling the crucible and forcing you to start all over again. You are not antisocial. You are an alchemist. You are not a hermit. You are a builder. You are not weird. You are engaged in the most important work a human being can do, the construction of a soul. So, the next time you feel that guilt, the next time someone calls you rude for protecting your time and your space, I want you to remember this. Your home is your tower. Your psyche is the container. Your boundaries are the skin. And your solitude is the sacred laboratory where the lead of your everyday self is transformed into the gold of your true, individuated self. Your dislike of visitors is not a weakness. It is not a flaw. It is the clearest possible sign that your soul takes its own becoming very, very seriously. It is not a rejection of them. It is the final, profound acceptance of you.
If you have ever felt misunderstood for needing this space, if this message resonated in your soul, affirm your boundaries right now. Go to the comments and affirm, "My space is my sanctuary." Let the world know that your work is sacred.